Hello and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News on the hour. I am Ebolomo Oguntoye. The Senate has constituted 3 special committees and 1 ad hoc committee via Senate Services, Rules and Business, Ethnics and Privileges, and Media and Publicity. Senate President Bukola Saraki, who announced members of the committees, put Babajide Omoworare in charge of Rules and Business, Ibrahim Gobir for Senate Services, while Samuel Anyanwu is to head the Ethics Committee. Senator Dino Melaye is the chairman of the other committee on Media and Publicity. There have been anxiety over the health of frontline Yoruba monarch Ooni of Ife, Okwade Shijuade, as conflicting reports rent the air over his state of health. Unconfirmed reports hazard that the monarch had gone into coma in a London hospital in the early hours of the day. However, while the ancient city of Ile-Ife in Osun State was in confusion of the true state of the monarch's situation, there were speculations that the first-class Oba might have passed on. Our correspondent Rashid reports that the Ife Traditional Council has, however, debunked the reported death of the monarch as a rumor, adding that the monarch is hale and hearty. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Brigadier General P.T. Boro, retired, as coordinator of the amnesty program for former Niger Delta militants. The appointment was contained in a statement made available to journalists by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, in Abuja on Tuesday. Boro, whose appointment takes immediate effect, takes over the responsibilities of the former special advisor to President Goodluck Jonathan on Niger Delta, Kingsley Kuku, who also doubled as coordinator of the amnesty program. The statement disclosed that the appointment of a new coordinator for the amnesty program is expected to lead to the speedy resolution of recent hitches in its implementation, such as the non-payment of outstanding allowances to ex-militants. President Muhammadu Buhari has decried the current situation in the country in which teachers go without being paid their salaries for many months in some states. The president raised the concern after receiving a briefing from the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, Mark John Nwaobiala, in Abuja on Tuesday. Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity Garba Shehu disclosed this in a statement made available to journalists. The president urged the 3 tiers of government to be more mindful of their responsibilities to pay teachers their salaries on time, noting that the non-payment of teachers had resulted in long-running strikes by teachers in some states. Buhari said the worst harm state governments could cause their citizens was to deny them good education. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has said that a number of government agencies, financial institutions and professional bodies lacked transparency and accountability and have fallen short of accounting standards. Vice President Osinbajo noted this development while receiving leaders of both the Nigerian Bar Association and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria separately in the presidential villa in Abuja on Tuesday. According to a statement by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, Osinbajo also stressed the need for professional elite to join the present administration in the current fight against corruption in the country. He also expressed the readiness of the federal government to work on judicial and justice sector reforms. The Senate on Tuesday resumed from a 5-week recess, with Senate President Bukola Saraki urging his colleagues to put aside bickering over leadership positions to focus on issues impeding national progress. It said in his welcome speech that what Nigerians expect from the National Assembly is support for President Muhammadu Buhari at a time economic leakages need to be blocked and Boko Haram defeated. The Senate President added that it was one of the reasons the lawmakers took some steps during the recess towards blocking identified leakages.
We must make no mistake that the aim of these militant groups is simple: to test our resolve and disintegrate our unity. But let me reiterate the readiness and willingness of the National Assembly to support and work with the President to comprehensively root out the Boko Haram. We join Mr. President saying that we will defeat terrorism in our country and our region, because we have the will to win this fight. Our resolve is collective, and we urge all our friends of Nigeria and the international community to join us. Distinguished colleagues, we have our work cut out for us. We cannot afford but to focus on our work. Nigerians give us a mandate to serve and less of a mandate to come and pursue leadership. The mandate is for us to pursue governance and bring solutions to their burning issues. It is time we remind ourselves of the solemn promise to deliver to our people real change. Leadership is secondary to our primary responsibility of good governance.
A federal high court in Abuja has refused to grant an ex parte application seeking to stop the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, from constituting the Senate standing committees, ruling in an ex parte motion filed by 5 senators who were led by Senator Kabiru Marafa. Justice Gabriel Kolawole held that there was nothing urgent in what the plaintiffs were asking for. Justice Kolawole said the 2015 Senate rule, as amended, upon which the plaintiffs predicated their motion, had been in existence since June 9, when the Senate President and his deputy were elected. The judge added that rushing to the court within hours of the Senate's resumption is not appropriate because the issue of urgency has become belated. He also pointed out that the court is not created to supervise the internal affairs of the National Assembly, except if its conducts infringe on the Constitution. Justice Kolawole directed the plaintiffs to put the defendants on notice and adjourned till August 5 for hearing on the matter. 81 senators across party lines have passed a vote of confidence on Senate President Bukola Saraki and his deputy Ike Kuremadu. They also expressed concern over the continued harassment of the Senate, management of the National Assembly, and spouses of senators by security agencies. The vote of confidence was raised by Senator Samuel Anyanwu, PDP Imo East, shortly after another senator, Kabiru Marafa, had argued that all Senate activities since the June 9 inauguration were illegal.
There had been apprehension on likely breach of peace in the Senate chamber when the lawmakers resumed from a 5-week recess. That was on the basis of a subtle attack by some senators opposed to the emergence of Bukola Saraki as Senate President. One of them actually argued that the Senate was not properly constituted in June and was acting illegally, but was rebuffed by the Senate leadership.
Mr. President, all our activities of this Senate, from the 10th, including but not limited to our oath of office, is annulled on the 10th. Yes, it is annulled because it was not done within the time frame. Number 2, protection. The activities of these chambers on the 23rd and 24th are equally annulled. I therefore, can you give me a space, please? I'm not addressing you.
There's no rule. You said there's no Senate.
Yes.
And I can see that this issue is not even being, it's not being raised by those in the, it sounds like a case of crime more than the bereaved. So I think that your explanation is in order. So I'm sorry, my good friend, Senator Marafa, yet again, I will have to rule you out of order on this issue.
This then paved way for the Senate to pass a vote of confidence on Saraki and his deputy, Ike Kuremadu. The motion was incidentally moved by a senator from the opposition rank.
The Senate hereby resolves, 1, to pass a vote of confidence on A, the President of the Senate, Senator Abubakar Bukola Saraki, B, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ike Kuremadu, the entire Senate leadership as presently constituted. 2, to call on all Nigerian police force and all security agencies in Nigeria not to allow themselves to be used by any person or persons to harass, intimidate, or blackmail the Senate, senators, or their spouses.
Those in favor of prayer 1 as hereby moved, say aye. And those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2.
81 out of 106 senators, that's excluding the 2 presiding officers, signed the motion. So it's not surprising that it was unanimously adopted with no dissenting voice. A close look at the list showed that 32 out of 59 APC senators have now lined up behind Bukola Saraki as Senate President.
It's the CoreTV News on the hour. Take a break and return with more reports.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, we don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Many thanks for being there with us, and for more on CoreTV News, you can visit our social media platforms on Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News, our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG, on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, with a space then news. Former Akwa Ibom State Governor Godswill Akpabio is Senate Minority Leader. This was after members of the People's Democratic Party caucus formally submitted his name to the Senate's leadership as the leader in the upper chamber. Senate President Bukola Saraki made the announcement on Tuesday, shortly after the federal lawmakers resumed from recess. Emmanuel Boacha, Taraba South, is Deputy Minority Leader, while Philip Aduda, representing the FCT, is Minority Whip. Senator Biodun Olujimi, Ekiti South, is Deputy Minority. The leadership crisis that has rocked the House of Representatives since inauguration may have finally been laid to rest, with Femi Gbajabiamila named as House Leader. This was part of the announcement made by the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, before joining plenary to Wednesday, July 29. Other principal officers are Alassane Doguwa as Chief Whip, Rupali Iriase from Edo as Deputy Whip, while Buba Jibrin, representing Lokoja Koto Federal Constituency, emerged Deputy House Leader. The lawmakers and All Progressives Congress chieftains had met briefly with President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday to sort out the crisis.
After calling the House to order, Speaker Dogara began the day by swearing in Linda Ikpeazu, the member representing Onitsha North and South Federal Constituency, who missed out on the general ceremony. He also read a request from President Muhammadu Buhari for the screening of service chiefs, and later constituted a committee headed by Garba Dati to screen the military chiefs. Speaker Dogara thereafter took out time to apologize to Nigerians for the rowdy session created by some of his colleagues on June 25.
The kind confirmation of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for appointments as Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 1. Major General Abayomi Gabriel Olanisekin, Chief of Defense Staff. Major General Tukur Yusufu Buratai, Chief of Army Staff. Rear Admiral Ibok Ete Ikwe Ibas, Chief of Navy Staff. Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, Chief of Air Staff.
Next came the presentation of one motion after another, including one on the need to make public the handover note from the Jonathan administration. And just before adjournment, the Speaker informed the House that principal officers have finally been selected. He began with those from the minority parties, followed by that of the APC, which was greeted with loud cheers.
In line with our rules and by unanimous consent, our Deputy Whip will be Honorable Pali Iriase. The deputy leader will be Honorable Buba Jibirin from North Central. The Chief Whip will be Honorable Al Hassan Ado Dogua from Northwest. And the House leader will be Honorable Femi Bachiagiani. Motion for adjournment.
Members welcome the developments, which they say will pave way for proper legislative duties to commence.
All issues have been resolved, and I think we have kicked the ground and we start running now. Now, we promise Nigerians that we want to work for the interests of Nigeria, not for any selfish individual. And as you could see what happened on the floor of the House today, everybody was happy and there was a loud applaud about what the Speaker announced. So it's just simple.
The way we are starting now, it is clear that the people of this country will benefit from the contribution of members. And that is to show you this, based on this legislative agenda we are having now, it shows that we have a house that is focused.
The decision to see the position of House Leader to Gbajabiamila is the fallout of a meeting that was held in the early hours of Tuesday after President Muhammadu Buhari had told the parties to work out a solution that would be acceptable to all. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
President Muhammadu Buhari has formally sought the confirmation of the Senate for the newly appointed service chiefs. This was the thrust of the letter read by Senate President Bukola Saraki on resumption from a 5-week recess. The president urged the lawmakers to give speedy consideration to the request to enable the military chiefs discharge their duties of ensuring national security. A national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has said it is too early to judge President Muhammadu Buhari. He insisted that the president needs at least 100 days in office before his performance could be rated by any standard. Tinubu spoke with State House correspondent shortly after a closed-door meeting with the president at the presidential villa. The Imo State government, in response to the strike action by workers in the state, says the salary crisis is beyond the state. The chief press secretary to the governor, in an interview with newsmen at the Imo State government house, said the bailout fund from the federal government had not gotten to the state. The army authorities say troops are foiled 2 insurgent attacks on the hometown of the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tukur Buratai, on Monday night. Army spokesman Colonel Sani Usman said in a statement on Tuesday that the Boko Haram men struck at around 9:30 on Monday night but were repelled by soldiers on duty. He added that the insurgents staged another attempt on the town at about 3 a.m., which was again foiled by the troops. This is the 4th time the insurgents were attacking the Buratai town since February 2014. The town was first attacked when Buratai was the commander of the Joint Task Force in the Niger Delta. The Imo State government has expressed disappointment over the recent industrial action embarked upon by the state workers. The strike, which generated a series of reactions among Imo residents, has pointed fingers at the NLC and Trade Union Congress, according to the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Sam Omumedo. The development came as a surprise, stressing that the workers failed to keep their end of the agreement reached with the state government over the issue of unpaid salaries. The Taraba State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja is adjourned till July 31st to hear an application challenging its jurisdiction to sit in Abuja. Chairman of the three-man panel, Justice Musa Abubakar, who fixed the date, also cautioned counsel against causing delay in the hearing of the petition. At Tuesday's sittings, counsel to PDP, Solomon Akuma, had asked for time to respond to issues raised by the petitioner on the grounds that he was not served on time. He also challenged the jurisdiction of the tribunal to sit in Abuja, but counsel to the petitioner, Mahmoud Magaji, insisted that the objections to the petition and the main suit can be heard at the same time in order for the court to deliver one judgment. The APC in Taraba State and its candidate at the April 11 governorship election, Aisha Alasan, dragged INEC, PDP, and the governor of the state, Darius Ishaku, before the tribunal to challenge his victory. A former Ekiti State chairman of the Road Transport Employers Association and sympathizer of the All Progressives Congress, Rotimi Olabiwonu, has been arraigned for the murder of former boss of the union, Omolafe Aderiye, a strong supporter of Governor Ayodele Fayose, who was killed September 2014. The arraignment has, however, caused reactions as counsel to the suspect has accused the state government of witch hunting. Our correspondent Rashid has the rest of the story.
After investigations and much arrest of alleged suspects of the murder of former leader of Ekiti State National Union of Road Transport Workers, Omolafe Aderiye, the State Police Command has also arraigned Rotimi Olabiwonu, otherwise known as Mentilo, before an Ado Ekiti Magistrate Court. Counsel to the suspect, however, raised eyebrow on the arraignment of Mentilo on the murder of Aderiye, saying investigation to the case is already concluded. The prosecuting counsel, however, declined comment.
Legal advice is out. They have told the courts that these people be charged for the murder of Aderiye. Simple like that. Okay. Now they are bringing in this my client on for the same murder. Who are we going to hold responsible? Any other question through the police PPRO or through the court PPRO?
The former boss of the road union workers who was murdered was a loyalist to Governor Ayodele Fayose, while Rotimi Olabiwonu is of the state APC. The defense counsel, however, vows to challenge the arraignment in court.
The persons who they allege to have killed Aderiye are having their trial before his lordship, Omotosho J, of Ekiti State High Court at Ekiti. Now you are bringing another person for the murder of the same Aderiye. I don't really know whether he died, resurrected, and he was killed again. This is what we want to tell the court.
Okay, any other information you wish to pass?
For now, let us just wait till we file our application and the court rules on it. We are coming back on Friday, God willing.
Preliminary objection raised by the defense counsel is scheduled for hearing on Friday as the mysteries surrounding the death of Aderiye continue to unfold with events. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
And now outside Nigeria, a Libyan court has sentenced Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of deposed leader Muammar Gaddafi, and 8 others to death over war crimes linked to the 2011 revolution. More than 30 close associates of Gaddafi were tried for suppressing peaceful protests. Saif al-Islam was not present in court and gave evidence via video link. He's been held by a former rebel group from the town of Zintan that refuses to hand him over. Former head of intelligence for the Gaddafi regime, Abdullah al-Senussi, is among those also facing death by firing squad as his former PM, Baghdadi al-Mahmoudi. Saif al-Islam is also wanted by the International Criminal Court on charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Prosecutors say that he was part of his father's plans to quell the civilian demonstrations against the Gaddafi regime. And that's it on the news for this hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Ebulomo Ubutwe.